Welcome to Sister Scoot, where we are tackling the top 3 Marvel news topics of the week. Going into our very, very first one, we got some very exciting things just around all of Spider-Noir.
Yeah, so we now have a teaser trailer that is available for you guys to check out online. Highly recommend that you do. I think it's going to be super exciting. It now has an official date as well, May 27th, which if you've been around the show for any length of time, you may know is Katie's birthday. So
Tis.
fun little treat for her. She won't be watching on her birthday, sadly, but it will
not
be
be,
out
guys.
that day, which will be super fun. And I think one of the things that's going to be really cool as well is it's going to be available in both black and white and color. So you can kind of choose your own adventure in terms of how you want to actually view the show. I can't think of another show that gives you that option. I know we got some black and white episodes of course, WandaVision. We got in black and white of Werewolf by Night, which now later does actually also have it in full color as well. But from a premiere standpoint, I think that's pretty cool. And we also know that it is going to be fully available all at once. So I don't remember how many episodes, but all of them will be available on May 27th.
Yeah, we kind of got a little bit of a dump the other day with all of the stuff around it, which is just exciting. I think it's going to be kind of cool to watch. It is obviously not inherently directly MCU involved, I guess. It's not coming directly from Marvel, obviously. I believe it's on Prime. So,
Yes.
if you have your Amazon account, you have your Prime account, you're going to be able to watch it on there. But yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. I'm intrigued. Obviously, Winnie the Bish is in it, so I'm excited no matter what. But yeah, I'm pretty into it. I won't be watching on my birthday because it's my birthday. But we obviously will be covering it as it's coming out to a slightly delayed extent. And yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. It looks good. I'm excited to watch it in black and white, and so it's a little something to fill in as we're waiting for some other Marvel content.
Yeah, and not to mention too, like it's I think the first spin-off of anything related to the Spider-Verse. So this is the first time that we're seeing anything come out of those films, let alone something in live action, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. So it's going to be something to look forward to, and everything we've gotten so far looks good. So I guess in 3 months we'll see how we feel about it. But it's content is exciting no matter where it's coming from. That's for sure.
Agreed.
All right, this one bothers me only because let me just start by saying love Joe Keery, love him to death. Okay, that's my man. But I think we've had an announcement about almost every Stranger Things character for in the past probably 6 months that has said, could they be joining the MCU? And now obviously we do have Sadie Sink. I think Caleb McLaughlin actually does seem like one we could be maybe eyeing genuinely for a Miles Morales role. I think we've talked about what is she now? Millie Bobby Bon Jovi or I don't know. Millie Bobby Brown originally. That's all I can say. I feel like we've just looked at a lot of them. Now Joe Keery's name is coming up as a possible new character in the MCU. I've been seeing some interesting characters, though, thrown around about who he could be playing.
Yeah, sounds like the biggest one is Harry Osborn, which
And I love that. I love that.
I just want y'all to picture Joe Keery on one side of your screen talking to none other than Tom Holland on the other side of your screen. We are not prepared for things like this. So, I mean, I think suffice to say we're pretty excited about this rumor. Definitely pulling for this one. I also think on a more serious note, I'm not very far into Stranger Things. I am just starting my journey, but he's a very good actor. And he's someone who is not just a big name to bring in a big name. He would, do the character justice, do a really good job, be a good foil for Tom Holland, and maybe have a different take. We've seen some iteration of the Harry and Peter Parker story now twice. This would be the third time. So they do have to find a way to do it a little bit differently than it's been done before. And I think these two actors, not to say that the other 4 actors are not talented, I think these 2 characters can take it in a different direction. I think they'll play well off of each other. And I sincerely hope that that's the case. He has also indicated that he's open to it. So we know that, if this is true, he'd be on board.
Yes, definitely. And I do just want to point out too, the other one that's kind of been circulating a little bit has been Nova. Um
Oh. Is
I'm not
that
against that
project
one
still
either.
happening?
That's what I was going to say is I'm not against that one. I think it's unclear on if we're actually going to have that project happen. So I think, I mean, if we randomly get a confirmation that that is who he's playing, I guess it is happening. But yeah, that was another one that I was seeing kind of just generally circulate around with him possibly being casted. But I would prefer him as Harry Osborn. I do think he'd be pretty interesting to see, as we know the path that Harry tends to take in the comics and the story that kind of goes down with him. So, as somebody who has seen him in Stranger Things and kind of his changeover from, the first season to the second, I think there's a lot to say about him becoming such a beloved character that they like originally genuinely were going to kill him off and kept him alive for all 5 seasons. So I think kind of just seeing his character growth in the way that we do between those seasons, and he does kind of start a little bit as, not, I mean, he was always my fave, but like not probably some of everybody's favorite characters. He's a little bit of a butthole, for being honest. We know like he has a bit more of that depth and ability to go into that range. And so I would love to kind of see him really lose it as the Goblin. Like I would think that would be cool. So yeah, I think that's the one I'm probably most gonna put my eggs in the basket of. Like I think that's the direction I'd like to see it go. And also the only project right now that we know for sure is happening.
Yeah, I also just, having said all that about how many times we've seen the green, well, we've only really, yeah, we've seen the Green Goblin in every iteration, but, and I know Tom has already fought a Green Goblin. That said, there's a reason. Like, it is one of his most iconic villains. The betrayal storyline between Harry and Peter is one of his more famous, most important. It's kind of seminal in his experience as a character. So, I really hope that we do get to adapt that, especially with, Tom. I think he's a fantastic Spider-Man. So I would hate to have to lose out on that just because it's been done, twice before.
Yeah, totally. So we'll have to see how this one shakes out. Again, add it to the long list of Stranger Things characters we've had this announcement about.
Yes.
But fingers crossed it comes to fruition.
Yes, for sure.
On to our very, very last one. This one, we'll see how this, I think, shakes out in the long run regarding these storylines. And that is that Jac Schaeffer has officially left Marvel.
Yes. So if you all are not familiar, you recognize Jac Schaeffer's name but are having trouble kind of recalling what her role has been in Marvel, she was pivotal in the creation of WandaVision. So that has really been kind of her like claim to fame, in the sense that everybody really loves that project. There's a lot of trust in kind of the way that she has done that. I believe she also, don't quote me here, but I believe she also worked on Agatha All Along, obviously as a direct spinoff or sequel to that show as well. So she has and we loved that show. So she has a pretty good run here at Marvel. It is sad to kind of see her go. She's moving to Prime, and that's kind of going to be where all of her projects are going to be housed. Who knows? Maybe she might end up on the future Spider-Man project. Unclear. I still don't understand why that's being distributed there, but
it's fine.
Either way, I do think it is a loss. I think one of the articles I was reading was talking about how the magical part of the multiverse is actually one of the most robust. It's one of the most thought out. And that really started with WandaVision and Jac Schaeffer's vision. So she has actually done probably the best job in terms of the multiverse and multiversal storytelling. So that makes me sad. I wish her all the best. I hope she has a ton of success over it, Amazon, but I think it's a loss for the studio for sure.
I agree. And I mean, we know we're getting Vision Quest 2 this year, which I think is going to be kind of interesting because that is kind of the last part of this trilogy, if you will. So it is going to be kind of intriguing. It's also, we can't forget, we do have the Scarlet Witch supposedly returning. That's kind of been the ongoing rumor for like 4 years now. I feel like you can't tell a lot of stories without her at this point with the direction we're going.
Yeah.
So it is kind of interesting to see somebody who was so pivotal, especially in that storyline, and bringing her into the Scarlet Witch, the actual mantle itself, no longer be part of the studio. So to your point, obviously we wish her the best. It is kind of sad because I think WandaVision, Agatha All Along, as you said, were two that I would say are probably some of the stronger shows that we've also had, let
Agreed.
alone with the magical elements and things of that nature. So it's a little sad. Hopefully it doesn't mean it's over forever. That'd be cool if, like, later on, I don't know. But yeah, it is a loss for sure of somebody who's definitely important to some of these storylines.
Totally.
All right, friends, that has been this week's Sister Scoop. Make sure you guys are joining us next week as we go ahead and cover 3 more Marvel news topics of the week. And of course, go ahead and listen to us on the podcast side as we briefly go back to our replay series until we kind of start getting into Daredevil, which is like not as far away as you think. So go ahead and check us out on that side. Make sure you guys are listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.